Today we're going to talk about how to break the cycle of codependency in a long-term relationship, particularly with reference to nice guy people pleasers. So the technical definition of codependency is excessive emotional or psychological reliance on a partner, typically one who requires support on account of an illness or addiction. Now, in this case, we're not so much speaking about illness and addiction, but we are going to be speaking about unhealthy attachment styles, and I guess mental illness in terms of how people's baggage and issues affect their relationship. So, in my work as a nice guy coach, the issue of codependency often comes up. Now, I'm not actually a specialist in that specific issue, but as it comes up so much for nice guys, I'm going to share a bit of my learning about it here. So, let's talk about nice guy codependency. My clients, nice guys, typically take on the role of caretaker or fixer in their relationships. They're the hero that comes in to save the day. They are the ones who are needed, and they're generally attracted to people who struggle to manage their own emotions or manage their lives in some way where the fixer can slot themselves in as a necessary support person. This might not be immediately apparent during the dating phase. It will gradually grow over time the more the nice guy develops in a connection with his partner. So at the start, he might actually set some boundaries and be a bit more independent, but as time goes on, he starts apologizing more and offering advice and fixing emotions and so on. And while the nice guy thrives on being helpful in a practical way, like supportive with the finances or even being a handyman, where he really thrives is emotional control. He likes to play the pseudo therapist where he manages his partner's emotions for her. Nice guy syndrome is all about control. Controlling the emotions of others so that he can feel comfortable and secure and safe in their relationship. From the outside, it may appear that the nice guy is the strong one. He's stoic, calm, problem solver, and his partner is the wild, chaotic one who needs this support system. And he engineers it this way. He's actually just as fucked up as she is. He will even take steps to prevent her developing herself. He'll be so supportive that she never actually gets a chance to learn how to manage her own emotions or sort out her own finances or whatever it is that he uses to maintain a needed position in her life. There's even a good chance that she was more stable and independent prior to the relationship. Over time, she becomes more needy, less capable, more dependent on him, and so on. So he does this in a number of ways. He'll take problems off her hands, solve them even though she hasn't asked, try to sort of clear the way for her, make her life as easy as possible. He'll always be cheering her up or calming her down, so whenever she gets out of the range of emotions that he's comfortable with, he immediately goes to work to try and bring her back into that range rather than allowing her to process them naturally. This will give her the impression over time that she actually can't manage her own emotions, kind of shaming her and gaslighting her into believing that without him she'd be an absolute mess. And always portraying a calm persona, a kind of superiority that he's always the one that's got his shit together. Now, of course, they were attracted to each other in the beginning, which means they're both quite damaged. Their unhealthiness has found its match. Call it the fixer and the damsel in distress. Confident people are repulsed by these kinds of people, so they only find each other. So why does this pattern occur and why does it repeat throughout someone's life? There's a psychological phenomenon known as the repetition compulsion. It usually stems from some sort of childhood trauma. We have a strategy that doesn't quite work, trying to keep an unstable parent calm, for example, or trying to be funny so that we're accepted by the group at school. And it almost seems to work, or it sometimes seems to work, so we get this compulsion to keep repeating it in the hope that one day we'll be able to kind of close the loop, that it will finally work. It's kind of like going to the casino thinking you've got a code to win at blackjack, and it seems to almost work, so you keep coming back to apply the same code, hoping one day you'll score big. So many of these codependent relationships come when both partners are bringing that childhood compulsion, that repetition into the relationship. And so they meet and it's like a match. Not in a healthy way, but in a cohesive way. Fixers often come from emotionally unstable homes where they had to kind of fix and caretake somebody at home in order to stay out of trouble or to feel comfortable and safe. And damsels might come from more helicopter parenting or being spoiled, where they never had to go and find a way to meet their own needs. Somebody always did it for them. It can also just be what you know. It happened the first time you go into a relationship and you've just repeated what you know because you can't think of any better ideas. You've never realized that this may be the problem. That's the reason your previous relationships ended. You think you're doing everything right and you just need to find the right person. I believe this is also strongly correlated to attachment styles. I think nice guys generally tend to be the anxious attachment style as their baseline. So being needed and being a fixer allows them to like have a connection with someone, but always be in power, always be able to keep their distance. The damsel is more like the anxious attachment style, the sense that they need, that they can't provide for themselves, so they cling to anyone who provides for them. It's more of an opinion than a fact, just to be clear. For many of you, this will arise because you get the sense that it works. You might have many months or years where you feel like this dynamic is healthy because you never have fights and you both fit into your roles so well, and you don't notice the growing resentment and the rotting of the relationship slowly over time, like that old metaphor about the frog slowly being boiled in water. This is the same logic as a chronically obese person thinking that they're healthy because they haven't died yet. In my experience as a coach and as somebody who used to be a fixer and still has that tendency, I believe this really just comes down to a lack of awareness most of the time. People just don't realize they're doing it and they don't realize that it's a problem. They don't realize that there are healthier ways to do things that feel quite counterintuitive. You're going to feel like you're doing the wrong thing when it's actually the right thing. And they don't realize that their suffering, misery, their lack of enjoyment of life is directly related to the codependency in their relationship. So why change this dynamic? Some of you won't. Some of you will do this till the day you die in every relationship you're ever in. I can't help you because you don't want to change. You're probably not even watching this video. But others, you'll start to see the cracks, or you've maybe even had a big crisis where you can see how unhealthy this is and what kind of damage it's doing. The main issue is resentment. When you start to resent the other person, it can build up into contempt, which is an absolute deal breaker for a relationship. There's no relationship that survives contempt. I mean, people can force themselves to stay together, but love cannot survive contempt. And when one person needs another, contempt is inevitable. The fixer will resent their lack of freedom, the weight on their shoulders, the sense of obligation that they have to fix everything, conveniently overlooking the fact that they engineered the situation themselves and that they took on that role even though nobody really asked them to. And the damsel will resent her partner's relentless intervention. She'll resent being controlled and managed in her emotions, having everything done for her, even though she might appreciate it at the time. She'll get a sense of kind of being controlled. And again, just like the fixer, she'll refuse to take responsibility for engineering the situation. If one of the partners breaks away from this, like the fixer starts taking responsibility for himself and allowing his partner to sort her own shit out, or the damsel starts sorting her own shit out and doesn't need him anymore, the person who's not working on this will panic. They might go into hyperdrive and try to regain the old role positions that they were in, or they might even try to end the relationship because they feel that it's over now that that dynamic's missing. They'll start to question whether or not the love exists because for them, love and need are the same thing. To either be needed or to need someone, they think that's what love is. They think codependency is love. Codependency is closer to addiction than love. So how to make changes for a more healthy and secure relationship. The term you're looking to explore is interdependence. Essentially, it means you're both independent on your own. You don't need each other to get through life, to solve your problems, to have your needs met. And yet you can rely on each other and cooperate to enhance your lives and do what makes sense for the health of the relationship. So for the fixer, this means taking your focus off your partner and putting it onto yourself, sorting your own shit out rather than trying to control them all the time. It means getting your own needs met, going to hobbies, building friendships, letting your partner have emotions without trying to control them, setting boundaries with your partner so that they have to actually sort their shit out and don't dump everything on you, that kind of thing. In a more compassionate way, you be the cheerleader rather than the coach. You encourage them to sort their own things out rather than telling them how to do it. And for the damsel, this means trying to figure things out on your own and trying to manage yourself more. It means you take responsibility for your feelings. Your partner doesn't make you feel angry. You got yourself angry and you need to deal with that anger. It means before you run to them, you try to solve the problem on your own. You try to give yourself some credit for having that capability. And you kind of let the fixer go, push them back and say, no, no, I got this. You must both agree simultaneously to take responsibility for your own lives. Each of you is there to provide your own quality of life, your own happiness, if you want to call it that. The other person is a support, they're an encourager, they're there hoping from the sidelines that you'll do well, but they can't do it for you. You've got to hold each other to account. The fixer must push the damsel to manage her own emotions and solve her own problems, and the damsel must push the fixer away to tell him to leave her alone and let her solve her own problems. Then together you can work to seek a healthy connection. Research what it means to have a secure attachment style. Have a look at your different behaviors and figure out how you can both move towards that style together. But you must work on this together. If only one of you does it, there's no chance of your relationship surviving.